With the release of Godzilla vs. Kong that has came out 3 weeks ago and it being one of the biggest box office hits of 2021 during the pandemic times, it's time to stop and rank all 4 Monsterverse movies from my least favorite to my favorites. But this time I'm not alone on this. What's going on, everybody? It is Joshua Drake. This is Future Filmmaker 394 Reviews, where I talk movies, TV, and music. If you like to talk films, TV, and music, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified when news videos are up or when I post live streams. Otherwise, you won't get notification for either one of those tabs. And I will, if you are a fan of the Monsterverse, comment down below what is your ranking of this Monsterverse. Be sure to like this video and share this video. And welcome to my ranking of the Warnerverse Pictures and Legendary Pictures Kaiju Cinematic Universe that ties in Godzilla, created by Toho, King Kong, originated in 1933. You also have Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah in this cinematic universe. And this is going to be a collaboration with Network 98. So, with that being said, you know how these collaborations work. I give my number, the collaborator gives their thoughts, back and forth. Let's get started.
Thanks for having me on, man. And so yeah, you'll hear my thoughts in a second about Godzilla vs. Kong. I just saw it. And yes, you will hear my thoughts. But without further ado,
coming in 4th place is my least favorite is going to be Kong Skull Island. Now, this is a very fun, entertaining monster movie that you can just sit back, relax, and have fun with. This is a very awesome Kong movie that doesn't follow the King Kong template with them going to an island, finding him, kidnapping him, and then he dies again. I appreciate Jordan Vogt Roberts' direction and the writers for attempting to do something different with King Kong. You get to humanize with him a bit in this movie. In Kong, he is a straight up badass hero, and he's fighting monsters, fighting creatures, butting heads with Samuel L. Jackson. Kong himself looks amazing. I think the visual style and cinematography, it reminds me a lot of Apocalypse Now vibes, which I still need to see that movie. And I think the cast here is great. John C. Reilly, Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, the lovely Jing Tian, of course. Brie Larson and Jing Tian. And also the rest of the cast in here is great. Even Toby Kebbell was good in his little role. And you have a cameo by Starlight herself, Erin Moriarty. And
kick-ass.
We live in a society of laws!
In this. The reason why this is at number 4 is because I feel like these are the weakest characters of the entire Monsterverse. I feel like these characters, despite good performances from all the actors, I feel like we don't get much motivation out of the characters. Honestly, the tradition that you have to take into account with these monster movies. You come to see the monsters and less focus on the human characters. But I do wish the human characters here were a little bit more likable. Also, it does drag on for at least a tad bit too long in the film's opening. But when it gets straight to Skull Island and the fun action sequences, it is awesome. And I love the musical score in this movie. But Kong Skull Island is still a fun movie that I just love watching. And it's definitely one of my favorite Kong movies. Not better than the 1933 one, and not better than my favorite one from 2005, but on its own, this is a damn good film. And I would very much love to see a Kong Skull Island 2 if this Monsterverse continues.
alright, starting off at number 4 is Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, I wouldn't really say now, this is the weakest of the 4, but I still don't think it's a bad movie. I still enjoy it, but overall, it's easily the weakest of the 4 for me. But it's still really good. I think Godzilla's one screen is pretty good. I think the characters are kind of mediocre, but overall, it's an enjoyable, fun Godzilla monster movie, and yeah, I mean, but it's easily the weakest of the 4, but I still enjoy it, but for me, it's easily the weakest of the four.
Coming in my third place is going to be the original 2014 Godzilla. Now, when this movie was getting ready to come out, I remember seeing advertisements, and I wanted to go see it when it came out. But plus, being a fan of the Godzilla, a diehard fan, at the time, I wanted to see this. But then I saw the trailers and stuff. The trailers intrigued me, and seeing Godzilla here, he looks really cool. But I held off from watching this mainly because I was not a fan of the Roland Emmerich one, which nowadays I don't hate it. As a monster movie, it's fine, but as a Godzilla movie, is a failure. But the Godzilla 2014, I did see this, and for a while, this was my favorite Monsterverse movie until a certain number one. But the reason why this is a number 3 is that it does focus a lot more on the human characters, which I will say between this and Godzilla vs. Kong, this and my number 2, these are the best that they deal with the human characters here. And yes, I am aware the one thing I do wish this movie will not done is kept cutting back and forth to the monster action, and then the only time you see it is on TV screens. But these are some of the better human characters here. They're decent human characters. The best human characters in this movie for me are Ken Watanabe, Sally Hawkins, Bryan Cranston as the dad of Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Elizabeth Olsen before she tapped into Scarlet Witch the year after this. They are the 4 best human characters. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think, is great. The Muto design, I think, is good. I appreciate the slow build-up in the style of Alien, and I appreciate the slow build-up to seeing Godzilla. When you see Godzilla later on to the hour mark, and then when you get to the last half of the minutes, yes, I can agree that Godzilla could have been in this movie a little bit more, but when he shows up at the end and kills the Muto with his atomic breath, that is some of my favorite moment in the movie. I love the monster action for when you're able to see it. The cinematography, color palette is good. I know it's fixed on the 4K, but I only have the digital copy and the DVD copy, and it looks fine there. But when you do watch it digitally, or it looks, you can see everything that's going on here. But the reason why this is a number 3 again is because it does keep cutting away to the humans instead of the monster action. But I live with it. It's still a badass Godzilla movie and a great start to the Monsterverse.
Number 3 is Godzilla 2014. Now, number 3 and number 2 are for me kind of different, but I think for number 3 I'm gonna put this as Godzilla, and this is really good. The biggest issue though, that it focuses way too much on the characters, in my opinion. Yeah, that's where movies should kind of be, is that we should wait for the build up for the main action, but still I feel like it just focused a bit too much on the characters. I still enjoy the movie, but that was a bit of a problem I had with it. It's still good, but overall it's number 3.
Coming in my second place for the Monsterverse is going to be the newly released Godzilla vs. Kong. Like I said in that review, you're either Team Godzilla or you Team Kong. But me personally, I'm Team Godzilla, and this movie lived up to everything that I wanted it to be. This is exactly what I wanted from a Monsterverse, for a movie with Godzilla and King Kong. It is way shorter than King of the Monsters, which we'll get to. It focuses a lot more on the monster action and the monster madness and the Godzilla and Kong as humans rather than the human characters. The human characters in this movie are passable. I like the performances from Alexander Skarsgård, Kyle Chandler, Millie Bobby Brown, Gillian Dennison. Brian Tyree Henry is the podcaster, was very cool. I liked Rebecca Hall. I liked the relationship with the little girl in King Kong, that he communicates with. I liked Isa Gonzalez, even though I do wish they would have done more with her. Demian Bashir was fine, and I liked Serizawa's son. I liked the performances of the human cast. The human characters were passable, nothing amazing, but you don't come for the human characters. You come to see Godzilla and King Kong and them duking it out. And the action scenes in this movie are awesome. Adam Wingard, this is some of the best action of the entire Monsterverse, right next to my number one. I love the monster action here. You can see what's going on. The whole Hong Kong fight at the end. The last couple minutes with him and Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, which I could not believe they brought him in there, but it was awesome seeing him in there. He was badass. All the monster action is great, and this is a visual spectacle. Everything from the visual effects to the Wayne Kong's expressions to Godzilla's expressions to Mechagodzilla. Even is going into the underground world, which is the most beautifully shot thing. If this movie does not get at least an Oscar nomination next year for Best Visual Effects with Dune, then the Academy, you're gonna be ashamed of yourselves. And these aren't Oscar bait movies, but I truly feel this should be in the front runner, right next to Dune later this year for Best Visual Effects. But the reason why this is a number 2 is that I do wish the human characters were a bit more fleshed out, and I do wish we could have had this movie went on for a little bit more longer, and I do wish we could have had more of Lance Reddick, Z Zhang, and Jessica Henwick's characters, because Z Zhang and Henwick's characters, they're nowhere to be found in this movie, probably in the deleted scenes or something, but I appreciate the fact that this got straight to the point. It's an hour and 53 minutes. It gets you straight in, it gets you straight out. And I would love to see what else they do after Godzilla vs. Kong, because I think there's grand opportunities for this Monsterverse.
Now, number 2 and number 1 were kind of like a top. Were kind of, I was going back and forth, but because this was like I didn't know what was gonna be number 1. But for number 2, I picked Kong Skull Island. Yes, the 2017 one. Really good film. I think. I really enjoyed Kong Skull Island. I think it's good. There was a bit of problems. Like again, I feel like the characters, you just don't care about them. I think Godzilla 2014 has better characters, but this movie I just prefer because I think the action is better, and I think it's just a bit better. But yet again, I said this, I like all 4 of these movies, so there's not like a horrible one, or it's not like number 4 is horrible, number 3 is mediocre, number 2 is decent, number 1 is great. I like all 4, so number 2, this is really good. And overall, I really
Before I get into my number 1, again, if you like this ranking, comment down below what is your ranking. Be sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel for videos and live streams. Also, my merchandise store is available in the description box down below. Also, if you like similar to my channel or you want to send fan mail, you can do that as well. And with that being said, let's get into my number 1 favorite Monsterverse movie. In last place is going to be Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the sequel to the 2014 Gareth Edwards Godzilla, directed by Michael Dougherty. This is my favorite Monsterverse movie and one of my favorite Godzilla movies and one of my favorite kaiju films. Michael Dougherty, he listened to the criticisms of not having enough monster action, and he basically emptied up the stakes like Adam Wingard did. This movie, you not only have Godzilla getting a little bit more to do, but you also have monsters like Mothra, which I think is very beautiful and very well created by the visual effects designers. You have Rodan, who is Godzilla's ally, and then you have evil King Ghidorah, of course, which this makes Ghidorah look completely badass, more than the Godzilla anime trilogy did in the last movie. But here, Ghidorah is a force to be reckoned, not to be messed with. The monster action, it is shot in the style of a Transformers movie, in which you see the humans help in the fights rather than seeing the actual monsters. but it didn't bother me here. It is just a little small criticism. The human characters, though, especially with Vera Farmiga, is... I'm not gonna say they're bad, it's just that they could have been done a whole lot better, but there are some good human characters here. I do like the story with Vera Farmiga and Kyle Chandler and Millie Bobby Brown and how they are dealing with a tragic loss of their son, and Vera Farmiga thinks that using these monsters is the answer. Ken Watanabe gets to come back, Sally Hawkins comes back. Also, Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr., he had me cracking up, especially with a certain line in this movie that he says that made me laugh here. But that whole end fight in this movie, the end fight between Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah all in one location is very fun. It's very awesome. And we also have to talk about Bear McQuarrie's score and the visual cinematography here. The cinematography here by Lawrence Sher is phenomenal. I love the direction by Michael Dougherty, and I love Bear McQuarrie's score, especially his renditions of Akira Ifukube's Godzilla theme and the Mothra theme, which is beautiful. And the Rodan and Ghidorah themes are cool. Even though I do wish he could have used the original Rodan and Ghidorah themes and reincorporate them into this version, I'm perfectly fine with it. Yes, human characters could have been better. Some of the action scenes and the way they're shot could have been better. But I was satisfied with Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I am hoping for Godzilla 3 if the Monsterverse continues. So, Warner Bros. Legendary, continue the Monsterverse. Hashtag continue the Monsterverse.
So coming in first place is Godzilla vs. Kong. I was going in with mixed expectations because I'd heard some good things about it, but I heard some people were like, eh. But overall, I think it was a really good time, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think the actions. This finally doesn't focus way too much on the characters. That was one of my issues that with the first three is that they focused a bit too much on the characters. So, but overall, it's my favorite. Yeah. So here's my rating, but my ratings for them would be at number 4. I would give King of the Monsters a 70. Godzilla 73. Skull Island is 75. And Godzilla vs. Kong in 85. So yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
So that was my ranking of all 4 Warner Bros. Legendary Pictures Kaiju Cinematic Universe films. Let me know in the comments section down below, how would you rank these movies? All my social media links are in the description box down below. If you would like to see anything from my Amazon wish list, you can do that as well. Also, be sure to check out the 5 Geeks podcast channel, which we will be dropping a channel trailer and our first episode pretty soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that and subscribe to that channel. Also, I do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out Network 98 Live's video channel and give him a shout out. And as always, you guys keep it cool, enjoying the epitaxis.